Hello friends, this is Jack from Choco Anime Recap. And today, I'm going to recap the 2023 action-adventure war anime called Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 6. But before that, it's my humble request to every person who is watching this. Please like this video and share it with your friends. Einar and Thorfinn are deep in the heart of the forest, tasked with the formidable job of clearing it. As they work to remove a particularly stubborn tree stump, they find themselves struggling to make any progress. That is until Thorfinn suggests cutting some of the roots to make the task easier. Despite their initial skepticism, the duo finds that Thorfinn's idea works, and they are finally able to remove the stump. As they take a moment to catch their breath and rest, Einar ponders why they haven't been provided with a horse to help them prepare the soil, just as they were given a horse to help them move the lumber. Thorfinn offers an explanation, stating that the retainers didn't lend them a horse, but rather made them do their job for them. Thorfinn wonders if they should continue removing stumps or cut some trees. However, Einar prefers to try asking for a horse first. Einar and Thorfinn venture forth in search of a horse to assist with their forest clearing efforts, but their hopes are dashed when the retainers decline their request. The busy retainers explain that all the horses are already spoken for and can't be lent out. To add insult to injury, one of the retainers belittles them, treating them like common livestock. Einar wants to approach Ketil and make a case for the importance of a horse in both removing the tree stumps and preparing the soil. Thorfinn, on the other hand, is more cautious, worried that they'll only earn the wrath of the retainers if they pursue this course of action. Despite Thorfinn's warnings, Einar remains undeterred. He believes that growing crops is key to their path to freedom, and that a horse is essential in making that happen. As they discuss their options, an elderly gentleman working nearby overhears their conversation. He approaches them and expresses his understanding of their predicament. The old man offers to chat with Einar and Thorfinn and, after learning their names, asks if he should lend them a horse. Einar is ecstatic and eagerly agrees, seeing this as a glimmer of hope. He then wonders who is the old man. Sverkel took the opportunity to have the two of them clear rocks from his field. Einar asked how long they would have to work, and Sverkel simply replied until all the rocks were gone. The two worked tirelessly, hauling basket after basket of rocks from the field. Once they finished the task, Sverkel instructed them to follow him, and had them chop firewood and fetch water. Einar became frustrated, feeling as though Sverkel was taking advantage of their situation. He was unsure if Sverkel was actually going to lend them a horse, or if he was just making them work for free. Thorfinn, on the other hand, was unbothered as they were used to doing chores every day, being slaves to Ketil. However, Sverkel overheard their conversation and stated that he didn't care about their circumstances. He had made an agreement with them. In exchange for borrowing the horse, they would do chores at his house when they picked it up and when they dropped it off. As Einar and Thorfinn rode off with the horse borrowed from Sverkel, they eagerly put it to work, using its strength to remove stubborn stumps from the fields. Einar was elated, remarking on the old man's kindness and generosity. When the time came to return the horse, Einar dutifully went about performing the required chores without a single complaint. With the land cleared, the two set off to return the horse, but Einar's mind was already filled with plans for the future. Excited by the ease of their progress, he pondered if they might be able to finish in time for the upcoming sowing season in the fall. He even dared to hope that Sverkel might lend them a plow. Thorfinn, however, was puzzled, asking what they would be planting in the fall. Einar was taken aback, incredulous that Thorfinn didn't know they would be planting wheat. Surprised by Thorfinn's lack of agricultural knowledge, Einar probed further, only to learn that Thorfinn had spent his entire life on battlefields, hailing from a place where farming was a foreign concept. Though Einar was stunned by the idea of such a place existing, he kindly told Thorfinn to leave all the farming decisions to him. As Einar and Thorfinn rode the borrowed horse through the countryside, they were stopped by a group of retainers. The retainers questioned the pair, demanding to know who had given them permission to take the horse. Einar proudly proclaimed that the horse was lent to them by a man named Sverkel. The retainers looked at each other, confused. They claimed to have never heard of a man named Sverkel living in the area, and accused Einar and Thorfinn of horse theft. The lead retainer even went so far as to examine the horse, doubting if the farm even had such a beast in their stables. But Einar was insistent. He explained that Sverkel was a short, bald man, and that he had lent them the horse without hesitation. At the mention of Sverkel's description, the second retainer then realizes that's the old master, and that his name indeed was Sverkel. However, they still don't believe Einar, as Sverkel is crabby old man and won't lend them a horse. He is Ketil's father, and the most important man on the farm. As Einar and Thorfinn set to work on the land, they are grateful to have acquired a plow to aid in their preparations. As the skies begin to darken with the approach of rain, Einar's sharp eye catches sight of some stubborn roots in their path. Wary of the plow being damaged, he decides to call it a day and return the equipment. Along the way, Einar takes note of the other plows on the farm, 10 in total, and marvels at the wealth of their master. Thorfinn expresses wonder at the cost of these tools, to which Einar reveals that in his village, 8 families would have to pool resources to purchase a single plow. Einar is grateful that Sverkel, who lent them the plow, was able to provide it, as the retainers would have never approved such a request. Thorfinn is in awe of the plow, speculating that it must have been invented by a skilled farmer. With the rain now starting to fall, the two hasten their pace to ensure the safe return of the plow. Ketil arrives at Sverkel's home, filled with worry for his old father, who keeps pushing himself despite his age. The other day, Sverkel had collapsed on the farm, but was saved by Snake's quick response. Despite his concern, Ketil knows that Sverkel would never agree to live with him, as they argue too much when they're together. Einar and Thorfinn stand outside, not daring to interrupt the conversation between the two old friends. However, Ketil soon spots them and grows curious as to what they are doing there. He turns to Sverkel and reminds him that Einar and Thorfinn are his slaves, but Sverkel ignores him and invites the two men inside. Once inside, Sverkel instructs Einar and Thorfinn to wash their clothes as they are wet from the rain. As they search for the washtub, Einar is surprised to find Snake asleep in the back of the room. To his amazement, Snake had slept through the entire argument between Sverkel and Ketil. But Snake's restful slumber is short-lived, as he awakes to the smell of Sverkel cooking and scolds him for trying to eat alone. It's then that Snake notices Einar and Thorfinn and wonders what they are doing there. As Sverkel sets the table, he grumbles about Snake, who seems to only come alive at mealtime. Despite consuming large portions of food, Snake never contributes to the work of the farm. Snake retorts that he and his men patrol the farm at night, keeping it safe from thieves. Sverkel dismisses Snake's contribution, pointing out that the farm could easily defend itself if it came to that. Einar and Thorfinn are timidly standing by, watching the argument unfold. But Snake calls them over, urging them to come eat the food that's been prepared for them. He reassures them that the food isn't fancy, and that after a day's work, they've earned their meal. As they sit down to eat, Einar ponders the danger posed by thieves, and Snake confirms that they are indeed a threat, sometimes even armed. Sverkel scoffs at the idea, noting that the cost of what they could lose to thieves is about equal to what they're paying Snake and his men. He believes that there are plenty of men who are stronger than Snake, and that the farm's fighting force is more than sufficient. But Snake disagrees, stating that with just 13 men, they are stretched thin chasing down all the thieves. With the ability to conquer this farm with just 50 to 60 men, Sverkel expresses his concern about the dangers posed by thieves. Einar asks why this is the case, to which Sverkel explains the influence of King Harald. Twice a year, Ketil sends an excessive amount of tribute to the king, and in return, he receives protection. Sverkel believes that owning more land than one can protect brings nothing but misfortune. The cycle of wealth brings fear of loss, which leads to spending to ease that fear, leading to a need for even more wealth. As the rain subsides, Snake sets out to patrol the area, but Sverkel tries to send him away, telling him not to return. Despite this, Snake says he will miss Sverkel. Thorfinn and Einar also make their way back to their own home, with Thorfinn feeling enlightened from what he learned today. Some time passes, and the two start planting. Einar tells Thorfinn that he can spread more seed, but Thorfinn fears that they have too little. Einar tells him to trust him, as he is his friend. As Thorfinn questions that, Einar is surprised and states that they are friend, or he is wrong. Thorfinn then smiles, and as he spreads seeds, he confirms that they are friends. And this brings the anime to an end. Comment for episode 7. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on another video. Until next time, take care.